pretend some audio or something's playing here. But what's up, y'all? What's going on? This is the first episode of the Aunts and Uncle podcast.
We still.
Clap it up. Clap me, bitches.
Yeah.
I just really wanted to say that. Nah, man. Shout out to everybody watching right now. This is the very first episode of the Aunt and Uncle podcast. I am your 5 for 9 host, Uncle Poochie. Look at that. Trumpets. Look at that, man. Even the producer saying this shit. Gang. Let me start running my mouth. Y'all know I'm out here. I'm not just in a new spot. I'm in here with my favorite person. My favorite woman. My only woman. What the fuck am I talking about here? Yeah, I know. Like, that shit up. Baby, step up to the plate. Tell the people who you is.
Oh, what's going on, y'all? It is your aunt, the Aunt Amanda B.
Yep, that's me.
Yep, that's me.
Yeah, that ain't gonna change.
That will not change.
Definitely not gonna change. Thank you so very much, sweetheart, for being here today.
I'm happy to be here.
Hey.
We fresh.
We fresh. I mean, literally, physically, spiritually, you know what I'm saying? Pretty bitches in here, you know. But let me stop.
Yeah, okay, we can go on.
We can go on and on. We got some guests today. We in a new spot, as y'all can see. And you know, not only do we have some lovely guests in here, we got some good talk going on. So let me shut the fuck up and let my people introduce themselves. Guests?
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Ryan Smiley. Everybody knows me as Smiley. I'm an event coordinator in the cannabis industry, and I do a couple other things that you might know me for in the industry as well. Been around the block for a long time, especially since the 2018 legalization. So glad to be here. Glad to be here with the aunt and uncle, two of my favorite people. And I love Gam too, so I'm glad he's here.
Yeah.
What's up, guys? My name is Gam. I'm the founder and CEO of the Kush Disciple. We're an indoor flower brand. We grow living soil. We focus on original strains, old school strains like OG, sour diesels, you know, like trying to step away from the exotics and candy, you know, that's popping right now. Yes. But yeah, we're just trying to keep it OG here. Thank you guys so much for having me.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Thank you for being here. Well, we love the flowers, so we love the owner as well.
We do.
Thank you.
It brings me back to before 2000.
Literally.
Exactly. The better days of life.
Right.
You know, I know there was such thing as good old days, but there was a such time in good old days with weed.
Yeah.
They got the good old days weed.
Okay.
I mean it with respect.
That wedding cake.
Yeah, that good shit.
That's the goal. That's the goal. Thank you so much.
I ain't gonna lie, y'all. Smiley definitely been somebody that's been on my radar for a very long time. So this has been an honor having you on the show. Thank you for being here, bro. Appreciate you, bro. Yeah. Gam, me and you connected a good amount of times last year. I kept bumping into you in events, and I was like, man, this dude got a nice ass chain.
Oh, thank you, bro. I actually made them myself.
Hey, okay. You learned something new.
Right.
That boy good.
Nah, but and then I was like, yo, your brand's pretty dope. And then obviously you were working close with shout outs to our homeboy Johnny, who's a friend of the brand, Dad Nomad, and his girl Kimmy.
Shout out.
I always get my boy's name mixed up. I always call him by his Instagram name, bro.
Eric. Shout out Eric.
There you go. Thank you, sorry.
Good guy.
I just the Instagram name is so dope.
We be like,
it's just so
Dad Nomad.
dope. But
Our dude.
good people. And so when we saw them working with you, we were like, yo, he's got to be good people. And then we bumped into you at the charity drive, and then you told me a little bit about your story, and I was like, oh shit, bro, you got a story. We got to hear it.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? And so outside of like the name Kush Disciples just being dope, I was just like, yo, son, like when we link up, like I want to hear the story, the people got to hear. So thank you guys for being on the show today, man. We really do appreciate it.
We're happy to be here.
Of course.
Yeah,
appreciate it. Auntie, how is your new year going?
My new year actually is going really good.
Yeah.
Time flies.
Yes.
I mean, good golly almighty. I wouldn't be an auntie if I didn't say that. Sorry.
Yeah.
But the new year is busy but productive.
Absolutely.
Adulting. What a hood, huh?
It's very much a hood. It is the worst hood I've ever lived in. I can tell you that. I just want adulting to actually start feeling fun. Right. You know what I'm saying? Outside of
we gonna make it fun.
We gonna make it fun, but like I want it to feel fun. You know what I'm saying? Making it fun and feeling fun is two different things. It's like watching it and doing it is two different things. Fellas know what I'm talking about. I ain't got to go no deeper into that. But I'm just saying, like, I just hope with this year kicking off with the new podcast and, you know, the new year, like, we still get the same old vibes, same good energy, you know. So that's why I brought you two gentlemen in today, because, like, if anybody knows anything about the need for good vibes and good energies, it's you two motherfuckers giving your background and shit.
Yeah.
So, you know, for the next 45 minutes, if you don't mind telling the people a little bit about you guys' background. Smiley, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into the event space?
Yeah. I mean, before I say anything else, first and foremost, shout out to Wayne Tay. If anybody knows anything about
Uncle Wayne,
cannabis industry events in California, you can thank Wayne Tay.
Absolutely.
And I wouldn't know everything that I know. I wouldn't be as successful as I am without Wayne Tay. So shout out to Wayne Tay.
Shout out.
And
No,
I know,
really.
Shout out
I know
to your
everybody's
team
going to know
members.
that name when I say it because you've been to an event that he's coordinated. So,
absolutely.
you know, I used to be a sales rep, and Wayne was a buyer and manager at a small dispensary, but one that I absolutely loved called Mother Nature's Remedy out in the San Fernando Valley. And I kind of when I was working with Wayne, was telling him these ideas. I have this new company I want to start, SoCal Canna Bar, right? And SoCal Canna Bar started as a service company where we were going to do dab bar service and cannabis infused drink bar service. That was what I was really excited about, because there's a lot of dab bar service. People are getting into it. A lot of different dab devices coming on the market at the time. So it was a really exciting time to be involved in that. And with that, we were kind of going into the pandemic, and then coming out of the pandemic, all we can do is outdoor events, right? To kind of get together small groups. So I thought it was a good time for me to kind of show off what SoCal Canna Bar can do, and started putting together small events. Now, thank God Wayne was my friend and showed up, because I didn't know what the heck I was doing. And Wayne being who he is, just sat down and started getting to work and helping me out. So quickly learned that, you know, the type of person that he is. I was already starting to learn that, but definitely learned that from him. And then just started to learn a lot from him, because Wayne has a background working larger corporate events and with different other companies outside of cannabis. So I really learned a lot from him, applied it to showing off what my company can do with SoCal Canna Bar. But people were enjoying the events. They enjoyed the cannabis drink bars. I got together a lot of local brands, smaller brands. That's actually how I met Gam down the line with his brand. And I just loved the fact that I was supporting a lot of local brands grow, including stuff outside of cannabis. Shout out to Laid Cookies. Laid Cookies.
Laid Cookies.
A big shout out.
Boy, if y'all don't know about them cookies,
Right.
Some good munchies.
Oh,
Haley
man,
Bieber's in there now
Nice.
at their brick and mortar and stuff. And they started doing pop-ups at SoCal Canna Bar, small events and stuff like that. So, you know, shout out to those guys. Shout out to people like Gam who go to these events, support my events, and grow their brand through a community, showing their face, letting people see their product, which we all know is very difficult in the dispensary these days. They don't really let you see it, touch it, smell it, experience it. And that's what a lot of these events are for, right? Is to bring people to discover new products, find brands and people that they want to work with, you know, because that's important too.
Absolutely.
You want to support brands that have good views and good practices. So I just started perpetuating doing these events, and it's fun. It's hard, and I mean, I can go on about that all day. I'm sure you have some questions, but it's a lot of work. I do most of it myself. I have some good support from the community, some good mentors, but it's backbreaking work. It's more mentally exhausting than it is backbreaking. And I have a sick addiction to it for sure. But when things come together and you are successful, there's no greater feeling.
No,
so
definitely.
That's all I can say when I see brands grow. When I see companies like Laid Cookies get a brick and mortar, you know,
crazy,
like
bro.
Absolutely.
Nah, I think before Gam answers that question, I think one of the cool things you pointed out is like the expansion of brands and seeing brands grow. I'm literally wearing a brand. Shout out to you, Punta Alto. I think that's how you say it correctly. Shout out to you. Fly ass brand.
Right.
Saw it at shout out to the homies Turpy Turtles. They had an event a couple of months ago. Pulled up. We were sitting right next to them, and I just started rapping with him. Liked his stuff, and now I see he's going to be at your event.
He's been at a couple of my events as well.
Exactly. It's the trickle down of community building that I love about attending your events.
Well, thank you.
I never feel unsafe. I never feel unwelcomed. I always feel like it's a good time, good vibe, good people, and I always know I'm gonna leave there and have, you know, a better understanding of where the industry, not just necessarily say the cannabis industry, but just like the social industry, where it's headed after I leave your event. Because I can see what people are interested in. I can see what they're not interested in. I can see what type of people aren't showing up anymore. I can see what are showing up. So
yeah, and that's definitely something we can dive into a little bit more. It's like, this is a very tough time for us as event organizers. I mean, we briefly touched about it before we got here. Maybe myself and some of other event organizers kind of flooded the scene a little bit. We had a lot of good events. I did Strains and Sounds for years with good live music. And I know a lot of people want me to bring that back and may come back. We'll keep our fingers we'll keep our fingers crossed. But you know what? Like I said earlier, the feeling of watching the brands grow, people come together, find new people, like. This is all, you guys are all here because of the events that I put together. I wouldn't know, I wouldn't be sitting here if I wouldn't put those events together.
I won. So like, I literally won a ticket. Yeah, that's how,
we were talking about that on the way here, and that's crazy.
Yeah,
and I
won a ticket to one of your first events. We didn't have enough money, Smiley, to get to the first event.
We bought one ticket.
I try to keep it affordable. My tickets are like $10.
I purposely entered. I was
like, but I know that people are in that situation. I don't want people to feel excluded just because they're going through a rough point, because they may not have $10 now, but in the future they might not have $10.
Absolutely.
So,
and I say that to say also, bro, like, although I did not have the $10, it was definitely worth the $10 that I spent. So I just want to put that out there. But moving along, Kush Disciples.
Yeah.
How'd this all start, bro? Where did you get, how'd you get your start?
No, definitely. So it's a very long story.
Okay.
But I'll share it anyway.
I was gonna say,
pretty much back in the day, I was that kid in high school who will sell weed and stuff like that to his friends, right?
Love him.
So
thank you.
I already had some knowledge of what cannabis was, strains or whatnot,
we
right?
appreciate you.
But
we needed you.
Yeah.
No, truly, fifth period.
Yeah, for sure. But down the line, that's where I started getting into like music production.
Oh.
So I went to Berkeley College of Music, and I'm a mastering engineer. So I do like beats, hip hop, all that stuff. I still work on my personal music, and my artist name is Anxious. I make electronic music, play clubs, festivals, stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
But the way the Kush Disciple came about pretty much was, before I had the Kush Disciple, I had a CBD brand. And the reason I started the CBD brand was because my mother, she had severe breast cancer. It was really bad, and the cancer was so bad that the chemo treatment and the medications that she was taking was worse than the cancer itself. So she wouldn't be able to sleep. She was losing her hair, nauseousness, of course. As a son, I don't want to see my mother going through that.
Exactly.
And it's very sad. So like, what can I do at that point? So what I did was I did some research. Like, cannabis has helped me with anxiety and other little situations. So I went to my local dispensary. I said, "You have anything for this?" They sold me a little tincture bottle of CBD, right? She tried it. She liked it. Every 3 days she would finish a whole bottle. I was happy. Like, it'll help her sleep. Like, it'll help her nauseousness as well. I saw her, like, it really affected her in a positive way. And the only thing was, every 3 days she finishes a $60 bottle. It gets hefty in the pockets,
that's
right?
Gonna get really expensive, bro. Yeah,
it's definitely hefty in the pockets. So if there are people like me that have people who really need this medication and can't afford it, like, imagine like all the other people out there, so I decided to do some strategic planning. I took out a big ass loan, and I started a CBD brand, and it was that CBD brand was called Anxious Organics.
Okay.
And from there, I started helping people with cancer, people with epilepsy, seizures, seniors, athletes as well, because after the oil, we started coming out with like topicals and stuff, like for your joints and stuff, and everything was going great, but it was one of those companies that I was actually truly trying to help people, and profits were just barely there, just enough for the restock, enough to to help out, but unfortunately a year later down the line, I suffered from a heart attack.
Damn.
Yeah. And at the age of 25, had a heart attack. And you're wondering why. So me and my friends, we went out to a club night, right? And of course, like 8 of us, someone pops out a blunt, you're going to want to hit it.
Yeah.
So everybody's hitting the blunt, passing it around. Like, I'm not suspecting there's anything wrong with this product, but I hit it, and a couple of minutes passed by, and I just started getting tunnel vision, and I started telling my wife, "Hey, I'm not feeling well. I feel my pulse, it's skipping, right?" And boom, I'm out. And luckily this happened in Torrance, so we were like down the street from the hospital. So it got me to the emergency room real quick. and they pretty much shocked me there, you know, and they brought me back, but still tunnel vision and stuff. You know, they told me like the cold blue, like you suffer from a heart attack. You know, when they brought me back, it came back to irregular rhythms. You know, so I was still like basically fighting for my life there. You know, and yeah, it was like a traumatic event, of course. You know, and after that, I was in induced coma for like a day and a half. You know, they had to re-shock me back to rhythm, but they told me if this doesn't work out the way we shock you back to rhythm and you don't go back to rhythm, we're gonna have to perform a surgery where we go into your heart and destroy one of the walls. It's called the ablation, and that will basically help your blood flow, but you're gonna be living like that the rest of your life. You know, so luckily I did go back to normal rhythm. You know, and then from there I had to quit drinking, quit smoking. You know, just focus on recovery for 2 years. Anything that involved cardiovascular exercise or just getting my heart running, freaked out to do it. You know, so that's where I gained like 30 pounds, you know, just staying in the house. And the CBD brand, I wasn't healthy enough to run it anymore. So I had to sell. Damn. Yeah, no, that was like an unfortunate loss, but shout out to my friend. You know, he really turned it around. He made it his own rebrand or whatnot, you know, so I'm happy he's doing that. But from there, I took 2.5 years to do some strategic planning. All the info that I got from the CBD brand, apply it to this new brand, you know, and focus on an organic product. We grow living soil that we can put out there so people can smoke safe, you know, lab tested product, you know, and now all we do is we pretty much preach about wellness. You know, we preach about go to the dispensary and pay a little bit more than your local
corner man
trap, you know, and it's like I have nothing against the black market community or like the traditional, because when I started I was traditional.
Absolutely.
But
we all were.
I have a lot of friends that are still traditional, but they grow the right way. You know, they grow the right way. And now like I want to say like 75% of these trappers, they're just trying to make a quick buck. So what they do is they have their grows, they throw in all types of nutrients, pesticides, spray it, you know, and just put it out there because it has a shiny bag appeal, you know, and it's really sad because you're poisoning people, man.
Absolutely.
You're poisoning people, you know, and what we're trying to do is, we've been on other podcasts and stuff like that. We're just trying to pretty much spread awareness that there are these dangers out there.
Absolutely.
You know?
Auntie has a funny story about one time when we were up north and we were doing kind of because we worked with a brand as well. For you all who know, you know what brand we work with. But we were up north doing a demo tour. And what did the lady say about you?
I gave her my spiel. Obviously, I did the whole thing, and I was like, and she was like, "Wow, thank you for not being a dumb bitch." And I kind of looked around because I was like, okay. She was like, because I come to these things and they don't have a lot of this out here because it was in Sacramento. Shout outs to my hometown. And she was like, and when they do come, they're naked. They're on their phone. They just say we have a deal. What am I buying? What am I purchasing? Thank you for not being a dumb bitch. So obviously I was taken aback by how she complimented me, but then I was like, well, you're welcome. You're welcome, actually.
No, I bring that story up.
It's pretty deep,
I bring it up because Gab made a good point about wanting to educate the people and doing things the right way. I was not born into the cannabis industry of being like, oh, this is an industry of which one could get a career in. Meaning, I never thought I saw myself in this shit. So I have no problem telling people at times I didn't have the highest opinion of the cannabis industry, but I think that's good because now I've learned to respect and love the good side and understand the bad side. And by understanding the bad side, I mean understanding that motherfuckers, like you said, are just in it for a quick buck. Some people just are just trying to put out a product to get people high. Hell, they would be selling crack if they could. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And so it doesn't matter if it was weed or heroin. They're just trying to make a dollar. So now that I've learned to appreciate this industry, I love meeting people like you, like Smiley, who are like, listen, dude, this plant has the ability to build you and also, you know, bring you into a different dimension of not just, you know, feelings, but life, because you can connect with people like yourself and connect with people that you didn't even know who were like yourself. I love being on that side. Unfortunately, a lot of people focus on the bad side.
And
that leads me into my next question, which is with you guys' career. And Gam, I guess I'll go with you first because this is more of a question towards you, but obviously, Smiley, you fit in as well. But with you guys' career, have you ever felt as though, like, have you ever questioned your direction with this career that you've taken? Like, have you ever thought, hey, man, maybe this isn't right. People are going to judge me. I'm afraid people are going to judge me. Or I'm not going to be able to get a real job if I go this direction. Have you ever felt that, Gam?
Right. When I was younger, I definitely felt the pressure.
Yeah.
You know, and of course, I grew up in a very religious household.
Okay.
You know, so all those things were very frowned upon. You know.
Same.
Yeah.
But I just knew there was more to it than just getting high.
Yeah.
You know, so of course, I did my research. I studied cannabinoid science or whatnot. You know, of course, a story with my mother, and I believe it's all perspective.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some people aren't educated, so they just think cannabis, get high.
Yep.
But if you put it in a positive perspective, and if you educate people while you're showing them, I believe they can possibly like think of it as a positive thing.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, it's tricky for some people. For me, I never really got any backlash or negative feelings when I explain my line of profession, you know, but yeah, I believe it's definitely up there with the medical side, you know, and yeah, that's pretty much my take on it.
No, I agree with you. I grew up in a very religious background. I'm from the southern region of America. I'm from Memphis, Tennessee. So, like, you know, the ideology of me working in cannabis to my family members out there, they just think I'm Nino Brown and I'm just pushing weight and I just got, you know, drug dealing going on. And I'm like, dude, no, it's so much different than that. But I do agree with you. If you can educate people and if people are open-minded, then no one can necessarily see the bad side in this. It's just being the bad. You know what I'm saying? You can have your stigmas versus, because really, I see it as depending on when you were born. You know what I'm saying? Like anybody born after 1985 kind of has a different perspective on marijuana than anybody born prior to 1985. You know what I'm saying?
Especially dispensaries and like legalization.
If you've been around to see the weed go to only having Corny Man Reggie to now being able to go to your dispensary, you probably a little bit softer on weed. But if you knew weed when they was calling it the devil's lettuce, you probably are going to forever hate marijuana. So it's kind of one of those things where I hate to say it, like until people get into your mom's situation, they're a little bit older, then they turn a little bit softer on marijuana and, you know, they see it as a medical thing because, again, like you said, it's a medical thing and 100%. It's on the medical side because it is a medicine. Before it got blown up and propagated out, it was all about helping. So
it depends on your dispensary too. Like there's a dispensary on every corner, but that doesn't mean that the pure intentions are there.
Facts.
You also have to make sure that the dispensary you're going to has a purpose when somebody comes in and they're able to teach somebody's aunt because they just found out they have to have knee surgery. It's all about when he's talking about spend that extra dollar. There's still those dispensaries that are taking old weed.
Yeah. No, I think
well said.
Yeah, no, I think you're 100% right. Before I kick it over to Smiley, I do recall I worked at a shop in Woodland Hills called Atrium. And shout outs to them. Because you had to know your shit. You had to know your shit. If you didn't know your shit in there, they gonna complain on you. Absolutely. Know? Because people do come in with, you know, cancer, or they came in, they had inflammation in their knee, or like, unfortunately, some people were. I remember a lot of my patients back when I was a bud tender, they were coming off of a lot of strong like medical
opioids
drugs
and things like that.
A lot of opioids. So then, as they were weaning themselves, transitioning off of that. Thank you, drug lady.
Because I work in the detox by day,
cannabis by night. But no, as they were transitioning off the opioids, they were always asking us like, "Yo, what can I take in the placement of my opioid?" And I would be like, "Bro, you coming off that shit?
You need some RSO, baby.
You need some real strong shit, or you need this." So, like in a certain way, I know blasphemy. I kind of feel like a doctor at times, you know, like, or a physician in some ways, you know.
Well, if you not to cut you off, if you work in cannabis, you essentially, like, of course you can't give medical advice, but people look at you as like, oh, he's, you know, especially when they're questioning if they're going to use it themselves. This is the guy, this is the knowledge bank that, you know, that I have at my disposal. And of course, you know, here's the thing. Other industries may not require you to be so educated, but when it comes to the Southern California, Northern California, like this is where everything stems from, both the cultivation, the sales, the industry. You got to know what you're talking about because in the room will be 10 other people who will call you on your shit if you don't.
You
you know what I mean?
Say that. Yes.
So like
Take pictures
the
of
standard. The standards are different here, right?
Tag
Yeah.
you.
So when these people come to you, they actually can get some really good advice from you because we all hold ourselves to a different standard.
Facts.
When it comes to knowing more about our product and what we sell and what we work with, especially when it comes to situations like yourself,
Exactly.
right? Where we help people medically.
Absolutely. No, you took the words right out of my mouth.
So education goes
Education
across
goes
the
a long
board.
way because this is again, no blasphemy. This is like low key the cannabis mecca, like for a lot of OTs.
It is.
You know, I can't tell you how many people I really interact with on the cannabis level that are not from SoCal. Like most of the people that interact with me or like try to get information regarding the brands that I work with, they're not in Southern California. They are from fucking Connecticut.
Right.
So I do take it very seriously when they ask me these questions because I know what they're saying. They're like, I got a guy in California and I am that guy in California. So like, I mean, to somebody that means nothing, but to me that means a lot. With that being said, Smiley, I'm asking you the same question. You know, you've been doing this event organization stuff for a while. Have you ever felt any backlash of like judgment or felt like, man, maybe this isn't the lane of work for me? I know you kind of admitted it earlier that no, you love this shit, but have you ever felt like this isn't for me?
I question it all the time, and it's not the cannabis industry part of it is not the problem. I have such a deep love for this industry. The problem is that I aspire to do big things, and when I do these things, I often and no hate, no shame on anybody else, but I cannot find a single partner who will match my my efforts, my enthusiasm, you know, for what I'm doing. And maybe that's unfair of me. Maybe I shouldn't be expecting them because this is my idea, it's my baby, and I realized a long time ago that I do better when I organize it by myself. Of course, I need support. I need employees. I need help. And I need the community to rally behind me. But I get frustrated, man. I get frustrated when I'm trying to do stuff with other people and trying to take things to another level. And I do, you know, 95% of the work, you know, but I have to split the income with them and my events, you know, they're community events. I'm just trying to make enough to pay everybody off. And if I'm lucky, maybe I'll take something home for myself at the end of the day. But, you know, of course, yeah, I question it all the time. It's as I said to you guys when we were before we started, it's a sick addiction. I'm totally addicted to it, and I don't suggest it for anybody because you really have to be a certain type of person to do it. It's gonna take a lot out of you. But because I've been successful before and I have done it, even when the events don't go as well as I hope, maybe the turnout wasn't as good, maybe some people blew it off, God forbid the weather doesn't, you know, participate and it rains in LA, no one shows up to your event. You know,
because they won't.
That kind of stuff happens. Well, you know, here's the thing. Let me just say, most of the time that's the case, but a couple years ago I put together a women's event. It was a Women's History Month, right?
Okay.
So I had Strains and Sounds where I had lots of women brands. Women.
Yeah, I think we was there.
We went there.
Women operated our own brands.
Yeah.
We had crafting stations. We had like a make your own flower bouquet.
Women singers, artists.
All the artists were female or female led.
Yeah, the DJ's female. I remember you had was hard as hell.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So yes, yeah. So it was a really incredible lineup, really talented people, and then it just rained like hell.
It did.
And I was like, "This is gonna destroy my event." It was dumping. The community actually showed up really good for me. They showed up hard. Like they didn't let anything stop that event from going well. I couldn't believe the turnout that I had from this community during that absolute. I mean, the streets were flooded.
Yeah, it was
you know what I mean? So I was like, I can't believe that all these people are showing up, and I'm so glad they did because it was maybe my most successful event. It was up there, and it was pouring rain. Now, to go back to your question, though, 99% of the people came out of that. It's an amazing event. We love what you're doing, and keep it up, and we hope you do another one. 1% comes out and says a guy is organizing a Women's History Month event. A guy is putting this together.
Oh, fucking tomato.
Well, to me, it was. I mean,
I heard
this is a hard thing for me because I'm a very like progressive person. I'm very like equal opportunity.
Mhm.
I've tried
Mhm.
even because I know that women are oppressed in this industry
Mhm.
in a lot of ways, but from their position growth or
Mhm.
opportunities presented to them.
Mhm.
So I've always tried to go out of my way to present opportunities to women, and especially women-owned brands and operated brands.
Mhm.
So I thought I was doing something really good, and it's hard not to focus on that 1% that
Mhm.
says to you like, oh, you're just a guy trying to take advantage of this, and whatever.
Yeah.
When 99% of the people said it was a good thing, but it does. It affects you.
You taking my next question, so we might as well go run into it right now. What is the negative sides of what you do?
Yeah, and it's stuff like that. It's stuff like 30 vendors being 29 vendors being happy, but the 30th vendor not. You know what I mean? So I had the vendor sit behind his booth the whole time with his arms crossed. Showed up late. His whole team was like just not happy. Like they were like, maybe they hit a bunch of traffic, whatever, but it was clear. You could feel the vibe from 10 feet away. You guys aren't happy to be here.
Yeah.
And like I said, I can only bring the people to the room. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can't sell the product for you.
No.
I can't get people to want to buy your product in the dispensary. I can't get people to like you. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
absolutely.
there's only so much I can do. So when it comes to the negative, is like, yeah, and the reality is you're not gonna do 100% of the time. It's not going to be good. You're going to have events that are not as good. You're going to have the one brand signed up with you that one time and it wasn't that good, so they're never going to sign up with you again. But the brands that have been with you and said, this one wasn't quite as good as some of the other ones, but we know, that you're going to come back again and do real good, then they see the benefit because they stick around, and not every event's going to be the same. You can't expect it to.
No, absolutely not. I can tell you personally, literally personally, I've attended some of your events and I've made $0.
Yeah.
And guess what? Totally fine.
But we've made connections.
Yeah.
We were able to utilize the space, and then we learned that that competition next to us, we're not gonna sell.
Yeah.
But
or
it is what it is.
What else can you use the event for?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
are you taking footage? Are you getting stuff for your Instagram?
We're
we all know
outside.
you need a million
Sales isn't the
videos.
only thing so to fuck up my bag, let me go on to keep my piece. Sales are not the only thing that you can obtain by going to an event.
Exactly.
If you think
100%.
sales are the only thing you're going for, bro, get out the business, fam.
Right.
I don't give a fuck if you sell cannabis, t-shirts, puppies.
Jewelry.
Right.
You can sell Juneteenth birthday cakes. I don't give a fuck. Okay? None of that shit matters if that's what you're going for. Bro, I did not realize how difficult it was to sell at an event until I made my first sell at an event.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did not realize how difficult it was to recapture the buzz that I got from selling well at an event until I sold really well at an event.
Right.
And then I realized, okay, we're going to do that same thing again. And we did. And guess what? We didn't sell as well.
Right.
And then I had to realize, like she said, maybe it was because we were sitting next to Kush Disciples last time.
Right.
Or maybe we were sitting next to,
and they got the fire.
Which is okay, right?
We just
And it's on me as an event organizer, and I don't know how much other people think about this, but I'm always trying to, like, okay, if there's a flower brand right here, maybe put a rosin brand or a craft brand or an artist in between, so they're not trying to, compete with each other all day. This guy's looking at your weed, then you're looking at this weed.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And sometimes just the way that people load in, it ends up that way, even if I try to avoid it.
Yeah.
I've definitely had that problem before.
But to Gam's point though, balance is the key.
Right.
And here's my thing. As a brand, you create that balance by doing your own groundwork.
Yeah.
Okay. Whenever we attend one of your events, bro, the brands that we come with, bro, like they gonna put out a flyer or they're gonna, have something social media popping or whatever it may be that needs to keep, the balance going our way. You cannot put it on the event organizers for your lack of success.
Yeah.
So what? So if Brett would have sold well, he would have said it was because of you.
Right.
Like,
right. Give me my cut then.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Give me my cut. With my commission.
That shit don't make no sense to me. Like,
right.
And as far as like, back to my comment about tomato, like, I get it that why people would give you like hate for like a man putting on a women's event, but like, to my position or my perspective on it, all of this is optics, bro. Yeah. Like, okay, a man threw the event, but as you said, women were the ones performing. I remember that event being off the chain primarily, and I remember, with all due respect, not even realizing it was a women's event. I mean that with respect. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't in there like,
right?
Like, you know what I'm saying? It was just, it was an event, bro. It wasn't a women's event. That's why when you started talking, I was like, I think I was there. And
we
you were
like,
there,
I remember that shit like yesterday.
I took in, like instead of paying for a ticket, you could bring in, like women's sanitary items, you know what I mean, for in exchange for a ticket. And I took that all to the women's shelter in Long Beach, and they were ecstatic, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So ultimately, to me, all of these female-led brands, all of the female performing artists, they all benefited. Like, why does it matter that I'm the one that's organizing it? You know, that really did get to me. I had a hard time getting over that, to be honest.
I mean, honestly,
honorary woman.
I think he has the right, because it's the 1%. I feel like if you didn't have the 1% hater, then you wouldn't be doing something right. I feel like it's gonna be that person, because it's like, what do you want? You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
Right.
Because it's like, if you threw an all men's event, it would be like, oh, he doesn't support men brands and men brands
imagine
only.
if I did that. Yeah. Jeez.
So you really, it's a catch-22. Honestly, you did the do.
I feel like it's all just mindset and perspective.
I was gonna say it's perspective.
And I don't know why so much people like are negative with their booth, or like they're not successful or whatnot. You know, you have to just go in there with a different mindset, like Smiley's mindset. You know, like it's full of motivation, obsession. You know, and you just, whoever runs that collective should basically be, you know, he represents it. You know, so let's say I come into the event, I already come in knowing I paid a booth fee.
Yep.
I'm not gonna make my money back, even if I do. I'm down in product.
Do you hear me?
You know, so it's like, you know, you have to like make the best of it. You know,
you have to.
If anything,
it's an investment.
The making some cash is the last thing you should expect.
Thank you.
You know, the first thing is, you know, just showing up. Like, same thing. Like, oh, there's events that I've been to that unfortunately they weren't successful. Yeah. And nobody shows up. But guess what? There might be 1 or 2 people that I can touch there, you know, and I'm touching their soul. I might save them in the future. You hear me? You know, whether it's with great product, you know, or just a one-on-one conversation, you know.
Can I just shout out real quick?
Please.
You're not on camera. Gam's wife's here. Not on camera, but I owe both of these two quite a debt of gratitude, because they stepped out of the realm of working together and were friends when I had some trouble with my dog.
Okay.
Right.
You work as a vet tech, correct? Yeah, she works as a vet tech, and was doing a lot to help me with my dog, offering some crazy scenarios, was even willing to, you know, physically take the dog herself to get care. So that meant a lot to me, and meant, you know, I hope you know that I'm trying not to get emotional because I love my dog so much.
Bro,
that's family.
Shout out Zero.
Shout out to Zero.
Shout out
Dog
Zero.
love is around here. Nah, bro, listen.
But you know what?
Shout out to you.
People, like you
and
said, you might connect with one person at that event that you're connected with the rest of your life. A customer you may have for the rest of your brand's existence. You know,
right.
And if those guys that didn't like my event, if they took the time to connect with 1 or 2 good people, they would have got something out of it. You know what I mean? Instead of just focusing on the negative. It's just it's insane.
I mean, let them block their blessing, though. You know, block their blessing.
Because it goes back to what Gam was saying. Like, the people we're talking about, the ones that are dissing your events, I personally feel like they're in it for the wrong reasons. You see what I'm saying? Like, anybody who knows anything about anything sales knows you do not hit it out the park your first go around. And if you do, for the people that do, they generally fall flat on their face the next swing, because this thing it's not a sprint, bro. And I'm not even trying to sound corny, but it is a marathon. You know what I'm saying? And you got to keep showing up. You got to keep pacing yourself. Like I said, at your events that we made $0, bro, I went back to the HQ and I still had good rapport, because like you said, hey, I didn't make any money, but guess what? I got about 80 new followers on Instagram. I got this footage of us outside at this event. We finna stretch this shit and post it on social media.
You gotta make the most of it.
Inform these people that, hey, we met you at that event. Please come to the next event. And guess what? They did. And some people have followed us from your events to other events.
Have come to my the events that I've thrown and I've put on, they've showed up.
Yeah.
So it's all about, it's like marketing budget.
Yep.
What does our boy Johnny say?
Man, listen, everybody got to have a marketing budget.
Gotta have
Shout
a
outs to
marketing
Riggs.
budget. Shout
I was
outs
going to say
to
this
Johnny.
because the funny part is, right, shout outs to Riggs and Johnny. Everybody has a marketing budget. Don't let nobody fucking lie to you. They do.
Let them.
But how much of it they have, we don't know. So I like to tell people there is a budget, but don't be that guy who tries to squeeze every single fucking thing out of everybody. Like, that's ridiculous. Sorry for the mic. That's ridiculous. You know who you are. I'm not going to say no names, but people know who they are. You know what I'm saying? But with it being said, I think it's funny because you mentioned how it was raining at event, right? And how people still pulled up. I don't want to burst your bubble, dog, but I paid to be at that damn event. So I was going to be at that motherfucker rain, sleet, or shine. And that's what I do love about these events is because you get what you put out of it. As Gab said earlier, bro, like, I already know I paid the booth rent. Most likely, I'm not making that back. I'm not even going to try to put the pressure on myself to make that back. Let's go out there and have fun, and we'll see what happens. Yeah, it's basically like your coach telling you, you guys are going to get y'all ass whipped. But let's go out there and do the best you can.
Yeah, you're going to play the scrimmage anyway.
Yeah, pretty much.
There's something to be gained here.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, it's like, do you want that person who put their arms folded? Do you want them back in your event? It's also vice versa.
I mean, you're right. I probably wouldn't have invited them back anyways. But my point being is that, you know, Gam knows this. I've seen him, you know, really take advantage of the events and, you know, his display. Your display is unique. And,
thank you.
And really nice. And like he goes out of his way to make sure that his presence stands out. You know,
right.
Get what you put into.
I want to give a shout out to Smiley too. Like when we first started, you know, of course, and we're all trying to figure things out, you know, and strategize how we're gonna go about certain things. And there's things I couldn't afford at the moment, you know, because we're just building up, you know. And he's nice enough, like, hey, if you want, throw some product in our goodie bags and get your promo that way. Come to the event, you know, talk to people, you know. So it's in the end, it's all about just helping each other out any way we can, even if it's not cannabis. You know, so that's where we make those connections. And that one person that might walk in last minute to your booth at an empty show might be the one that might make your whole fucking year, man.
Facts. I'm not gonna lie, because you never really know who the fuck you bumping into when you be at these events.
The networking opportunities alone. The person coming up to you might be somebody who can help blow up your brand. You don't know that.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? It's you're just looking to just pass off some herb, like, you know what I mean? Put your shit in the dispensary. That's what it's for. But if you want to come to the event and expect, you know, that nobody's gonna look at other products and think that other products are bomb, or maybe they don't like flower, dude. Maybe they're a rosin smoker. Maybe they're an edible person. You know what I mean?
May I make a point to just interrupt you, because you just brought up something that's just made my light bulb go ding. The events are so important because unlike other industries, I'm never gonna meet Phil Knight. Okay, I'm never going to meet Mr. Tommy Hilfiger. Okay, but if I am in a dispensary and I like the brand Kush Disciples, I really like this brand. Oh man, they're going to be an event. Oh snap! I get to go meet the people behind the brand that I enjoy. How many other industries do you get to do that? I don't know that many. All right, I like pizza. I don't know the motherfucker that make my pizza.
Right. And even if you do, like, you go to like a convention or something, it's hired help. A lot of those people are like third party services, hired help to go work at a convention. It's not the guy.
Yeah, you never see the
out there doing
with
the
the
work.
story.
Yeah, you never see that, and that's another thing I do as well. Like, you never see the CEOs of corporate giant brands repping their brand. You know, but I do every first PAD at a dispensary. For every dispensary, and we're in over 40 now.
Smart
move. You know, so
smart move.
So it's definitely something just to be involved with the community show face, you know, and it's amazing when people support your brand. You know, they could buy your product one day and then come to my event. I'm still gonna be giving out product. You know, it's like, you might. I might not sell anything, but I'm gonna give out pre-rolls. I'm gonna get our socials.
Yeah.
So guess what? Once you see our socials, I'm gonna promote more events. I'm gonna promote giveaways. I'm gonna promote giving out more products.
Next
so
thing
it's
you
like
know,
you touch someone, you know.
you sponsoring their little nephew's bar mitzvah. You know what I'm saying? You never know.
You need a venue space? I got you.
Man, it's crazy because it really, that was, so back to my point earlier when I was like, yo, I had to learn how to love this industry. That was one of the parts that made me love this industry because I really saw it for what it was. You know, once you take out, like I said, the propaganda, once you take out, you know, the sex appeal, and as you said, Gam, the cool bags, it really is about a group of people trying to connect to grow something and make something bigger. Auntie, were you about to say something? I'm sorry, did I cut you off earlier?
No, you're good.
Okay, cool. I think what is interesting though, and I didn't put this in my questions, but I just wanted to ask you guys because Smiley, you brought this up a couple of times, but we all are in this industry. There tends to be this separation between man and woman. Why is that?
You know,
a thing?
Good question. Very good question.
Sorry.
Very, very good question.
I mean,
I guess there's no, unfortunately, and this is not just our industry, right? It goes across a lot of industries. There's just no shortage of these types of people.
Yeah.
That believe that there should be a separation, you know,
Don't
or that they want to, you know, stay elite, you know, and you know, as a white male in America, there needs to be more of us speaking up and saying that shit ain't right, dude. It's not right. Well, just because I was born this way in the right place, the right time, the right genetics, and like to gain all of society's benefits because all the people running it happen to look like me, doesn't mean that I need to perpetuate that. It doesn't mean that better things can't be out there. These people that are so set in their ways, their conservative ways, and think that this is a good thing, have a closed mind, right? They're not open to the idea that, you know what, maybe we should have a woman CEO. You know what I mean? Maybe she's gonna bring to light things that we haven't been seeing as a company that's been ran completely by men. You know what I mean? Or maybe we need more diversity. Maybe we need, you know, people from other countries, people that from other states that, you know, have different experiences with cannabis growing up, you know? Because I'll tell you what, the bud tender that works at the dispensary that is from another state that works at a dispensary is having the time of his life.
Absolutely.
He's not getting paid well enough.
Nope.
And he's in there with a smile every single day, or she's in there with a smile every single day. And they're stoked to just be a part of this movement. We're spoiled. We're all spoiled.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
I agree. I'm gonna ask you the same question, but to make your point, I do agree. As a person who has been on that side of like, yo, I never thought this would be my career. I do remember what it felt like to be like, oh my goodness, this is so exciting. You know, obviously 6 years now into it, I am very much spoiled. But I will say that person you just described is the person that I feel like that's keeping this industry afloat. As the spoiled people are bringing it down a bit. Unfortunately, I could be in that group. But Gam, could you give your insight? Why do you think there's like this need of separation in this industry?
There's definitely some unbalance going on, you know. And everything Smiley said is pretty much what I would say, you know. And you just see it everywhere. In this industry, the first thing you notice, whether it's at events or any recap video or anything, is just they just have women there and 100% sexualizing them, you know.
That's
and men are gonna look at this, they're gonna like this video, and they're gonna want to come to our events. We're gonna have girls running our booths. We're gonna have girls doing our bud tending, you know. And it's me, of course, I'm the CEO of the company. My wife is my CMO. She's my head of marketing, and we do things together. You know, if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be able to do or be where I am right now. You know, and it's there should definitely be that balance. Shout out wifey. There should definitely be that balance in the industry for sure.
Yeah.
And yes, everything that's going on can continue to go on. It is what it is. It's going to continue to happen. I guess that's humanity, but we can try our best one by one just to try to balance those odds, man.
Yeah.
And we are. And we are. Like, shout out to the people that are making the movement.
Yeah, and not giving up.
Yeah, there are a lot of us in cannabis that are trying to what's the word I'm looking for? Put the right message for.
Advocate for the right.
Yeah.
What the community's really brought about, because I'm a whole woman, but I'm a woman that uses my mind first before my body. I do say this on every podcast that I don't have a problem if you walk around with your booty cheeks out. But what you're not going to do is be mad at me because people want to talk to me because I have the education. I'm not going to be mad at you that people want to talk to you first because I know they're going to come to me after they talk to you. Yeah. I've had to come down to that understanding, though, because I think the issue personally is men and women. I think the women that know that they can get away with selling a bunch of products because they just said this is my favorite one and they have never smoked it in their life.
Sure.
And then I think it's the males who also just will not listen to the women of the education. Because I've been on the end of both ends. Like I told you, a woman told me, thank you for not being a dumbass. But a brand that I was working with still took them a while just because I did not wear the type of clothing that they suggested.
Now, can I ask you something?
Of course.
Do you think that same person, not that same, let's just say any person, some random person walking in to a dispensary, to an event, whatever, sees someone dressed that way, are they going to automatically assume that they know nothing about the brand and the product?
I don't think so, but I think they come to them first because of how they're dressed. Right. Majority of the time. But I don't even think they care. Honestly, I think they just come to that person to see what we got going on here.
Okay, because for sure, one thing though that is important is like maybe the person that they are hiring for that is used to being in front of other people, talking to other people, because there's a lot of people have the education, right? They can educate people, but they just don't have the, they can't talk to people.
Of course.
And if you're a BA working in a dispensary, you got to talk to every single person comes out the door.
You have to.
Boom.
You have to.
I mean, that's your
job. You're not
job.
doing your job. I'm sorry. Like, I know you want to sit there on your phone, but
you at least wave.
But you need to at least say hi. You know what I mean?
Give them a little smile.
Do you like edibles?
Yeah.
Great. We have edibles. You don't like edibles? Cool.
Okay.
I don't blame you.
Does your mom like edibles?
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you again.
You want a BOGO today?
Right.
No BOGO? All right.
Okay, go.
All right.
Exactly.
We got lighters. No, you don't
it doesn't take much, but you also, I know for a lot of people that's super uncomfortable, right?
Yeah.
So finding good people, I think it's on the brands to educate somebody and 100%. Get somebody out there that has both those skills, right? It'd be super personable, but also know what the heck they're talking about.
I'm saying, it's nice if they look nice. That's super cool.
Yeah.
But, do they know how to? If somebody walked up to the table right now and we were working together and they asked you about the product, are you going to be able to tell them about the product or are you going to tell them that they can ask me about the product?
Right.
Because that's not a thing if we're both at the table.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not understanding.
Right. And I know that there's nothing more frustrating for me than to go up to anybody, because I'm going to assume whoever's working for them that they have the knowledge of it.
Correct.
And if they don't, and I find out, oh, you're like a BA that's been hired through like some third party service to just stand here because this store requires their brands to have somebody here once a month.
Yeah.
That may turn me away from your brand forever. To be honest,
absolutely.
Because that shows you just don't care. Like you just don't care.
That's happening a lot more now.
Smiley. Let me tell you something, man. We gotta make sure Smiley's window is bulletproof, guys.
Hey,
my man out here spitting facts.
I mean, he's spitting facts. I mean, you can't lose yourself as a woman.
Free game. If that's what you've been doing, switch it up.
I think to add on to everything y'all are saying, that one, I agree. The issue is multiple issues, but the biggest issue I find is a lot of which we're talking about comes from brands that are ran by people who really, truly don't know what the fuck they're doing. Yeah. So
or care about the actual purpose of to get them.
It's very much just a trend to them. Maybe just another portfolio hobby. I have no idea. I don't want to guess because it's not my money. Right. But I will say that the people who follow this path of using these naked BAs who don't know anything, I generally do not see them very long. Or
Yeah.
if I do see them,
At
they aren't
4 other
doing that
brands.
for a very long time. That style gets switched up on very quickly when you realize that, exactly like you said, Smiley, you lose organic interaction when people figure out that you're not even employing, internal employees. You just got this half-baked model
Yeah.
standing here just saying, hi,
Yeah.
come by our table. Which again, if that's how you getting down, that's how you getting down. But like, I am here to tell you, Smiley's here to tell you, Gab's here to tell you, my lovely wife's here to tell you, that shit ain't gonna work, bro.
I mean, if you're cookies, sure. You're a globally recognized brand, MSO. Sure, you can probably get away with that. But like when it comes to
2026, man.
when it comes to building your brand, you want to gain some new customers.
Right,
Even the
right.
people you have coming out, because like I've worked at dispensaries, I've managed dispensaries, and I've had to calm my budtenders down because they were like, dang, that person who came and did our budtender education sucked. Like, I know more about their brand than they know, and I've had them be upset about that, and I've obviously been upset as well because I've done budtender educations, but it's like really analyzing and understanding who you have representing your brand and educating people, because they're gonna be like, oh, don't go to their table, they don't know anything about their brand.
Right,
100%.
Right, and like a pizza party's nice. And I see you out there, you sales reps bringing yourselves, the pizza and the donuts and stuff. Hey, these budtenders are hungry. They need that too. Don't get me wrong. That's nice. But you got to come with some education. Come with some education. Like, get them educated while they're munching on the pizza. If you work in the industry, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
It's the cookies that's taking me out.
At least get them laid cookies.
Please,
the good stuff.
I'll make that drive.
Right.
Good.
Then they'll remember you forever.
Absolutely.
We got about 5 minutes left in this,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna get into my last little question. Any advice for people, if you could just give at least 1 or 2 pieces of advice for somebody who's following your footsteps in the event industry and the brand starting industry? Could you give them some advice, please?
Yeah. If you want to do what I'm doing, start very small. It's something that you have to scale, and like, I said this to you before the show. I've let down people that have put their trust in me to do these events, and that's the worst feeling in the world. Owing money to bands that I cherished and grew up on that now are playing my events, and I owe them money after the event because it didn't do so well. That's really tough. So the biggest lesson I've learned is manageable, scalable growth is the way to go. Start small and start passionate. My next event is about cannabis and trading cards and video games and all the stuff that I care about. I'm wearing a Dragon Ball Z hat right now. Like I love this stuff, man. Like, this is what I'm truly passionate about. And when you put it out there and you're truly passionate about it, and you're like, you know what, maybe 10 people will show up to this event, but those 10 people are fired up to be there, they care about this stuff, then you're gonna have a good event, and you're gonna have something that people remember and want to come back. So that's the best advice I can give is, number 1, sessions where people just pop up a table and there's nothing else going on, boring. Gotta get past that. Number 2, if you're gonna do events, be passionate about the theme, be passionate about the people you're working with, be passionate about the details of the event. Think about, if I was going to this event, what would I want out of it? If you can hit all those goals and still walk out saying at the end of the day, hey, that's successful. That's a success. Don't expect to make money right away. Invest in the business, and then you can make it happen. But it won't happen without time, stress, investment, networking like crazy. Your network is your net worth, right? It's like, you don't know anybody, no one's gonna come. So go to other people's events, study what they're doing, network. You don't need to steal their ideas. Just see what is done well at their events. Hey, this event had plenty of seating for everybody. This event actually had ashtrays. You know what I mean? Man,
like the little things.
This event had a covering for where the people that were standing outside in line before they got here, they knew the weather wasn't going to be good. Those types of things make all the difference. Spend the extra money, invest. It's worth it.
For sure.
Yeah.
Gam, my guy.
Yeah. Well, if you're trying to start a cannabis brand, my main recommendation would be do your homework. Go to events like Smiley throws. Look around, take notes. It's not an easy industry to get in.
Mm.
You know, the first couple of years, you're not going to make nothing. You know, so if you're going to come in this, make sure you're obsessed and you're dedicated.
Yeah.
You know, make sure this is something you want to do, pursue it, and know there's going to be negatives. They're going to bring you down, but overcome that, you know? And yeah, that it happened to me, you know, and I'm obsessed. I did things that I never thought I would do that benefit me nothing, but in my mind, I'm coming up ahead.
Absolutely.
You know, and
Yeah.
you got to have that mindset, you know,
Yeah.
and just learn how to keep growing pretty much, you know, and of course, you know, people have big egos in this industry. One thing I'll tell you, my main thing, seek help and advice, you know, collaborations
Word.
bring
I
us
like that.
bigger,
Yeah.
you know, and don't be scared of collabing with people just because you think you didn't do it yourself. Guess
Just
what?
saying.
Like I was
Especially
at
while you're growing.
I was at 10 stores, collaborated with Royal Blunts. They got my blunts over 75 stores, you know, and it just makes that little difference, you know. And of course, just be a good person, man. Be a good person. Don't try to rip people off. Help the people.
Amen.
You know?
Trust and believe. Trust and believe. He ain't lying on the collaboration because the only way my followers go up is unless I collaborate with y'all on these posts on IG, which I will be doing when it comes out. Smiley,
run it,
we got
run
about 30 seconds left. Tell the people about your event that's coming up on Saturday, bro.
Strains and Games 3 this Saturday. This is a trading cards, Mario Kart tournament. I got art. I got all female tattoo collective that's going to be doing anime and gaming tattoos. We have a game room that's got a racing simulator. I mean, there's more stuff that I can possibly say in one thing. We got fingerboard session going on. A lot of great brands, a lot of great vendors, a lot of good food.
Yeah.
It's going to be a really good time. If you like trading cards, this is definitely a good event for you. If you like Mario Kart, this is a fun time to show your skills, win some prizes. If you like community vibes, I mean, if you like any of this stuff, this is the event for you. The tickets are on sale now. They're only $10. So you come support. You know, I try to keep it super affordable. Support brands like Gam. He won't be there this time because he's going out of town, but he'll be at the next one. He's usually there. And a lot of good community brands. So come on out, enjoy it. We're also premiering my new product, Liquid Dab. So
Absolutely.
we'll talk about that on
absolutely.
another
Absolutely. You guys will be out there chilling with the brand Wafers officials. You know, we'll see you out
Wafers will be
there.
there.
Come pull up on us. Me and the auntie, you'll see us out there. And go pull up on Punta Alto. I hope I keep saying this right. If not, I don't know. Send me a hat and I'll say it correctly. Auntie, you got anything to say before we out of here?
I can't wait to see y'all this weekend.
All right, y'all. We back. Well, we here.
We back at
It's the
it.
new show.
We
We're gonna be
here.
here next week.
The aunt and the
The
uncle.
aunt and uncle. Bye bye.
thanks for
That's
having
We're
us.
gonna wave
Peace.
like aunties and uncles.
Bye.